Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, actually,
I know you really want us to talk about the Illuminati at some point. It's
yeah,
not gonna
maybe we
happen
will.
tonight.
Maybe so. Scientology, I don't quite understand. Again, I think like Anonymous, they're not really looking for this particular skill set.
Well, in Scientology, I don't know a lot.
Yeah.
I've done very minimal investigation into Scientology, but they seem to do some kind of strange things. So, in a way, I could see them being the perpetrators here, but I don't get why.
They're not looking for people who can solve puzzles and do cryptology. I mean, Scientology has done some very off the rails kind of things. Are you aware that they massively infiltrated the U.S. government?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, big time, especially the IRS. Yeah, but that's not the kind of thing where cryptological skills and puzzle solving is really a necessary thing. I don't think they're looking for people with this skill set.
I mean, I think that the thing that's interesting about Scientology, right, and the reason that this kind of crops up in this sort of theories is these sort of theories. Is that honestly, like, we don't know what Scientology is doing. Like, we don't know what they actually want. We don't know what their end game is.
We do know one thing about what they're doing, which is that they're not doing very well.
Well, but
their membership has collapsed. They're not doing that great.
The interesting thing on that is that, like, yes, from what we can
what we know, yeah.
But who knows? Like, maybe this is them. Like, maybe, I don't know. They are like an actual, real world secret organization.
Yeah, maybe you're a Scientologist. I don't know.
I might be. You don't know.
I don't know.
Google is the next one, and I actually kind of like this theory a little bit. That like it's a Google or Facebook.
Well, the great thing about it is that the people that are trying to solve the puzzle are going to be going to Google a lot, doing a lot of Googling, so it's good for their business.
Yeah, no, I think that, Google was, at least for a time, looking for the most advanced kind of, they used to do that thing, I think they still do actually, where they essentially offer somebody like $1 million or whatever if they can find a hole in their security. Like, so I guess I wouldn't put it past them to do something like this, but it would also mean that they would have to already have people on staff who are capable of creating things like this, which they probably do.
They've got some smart people. I bet they could.
Well, this is a tangent, but it makes me think about... I just recently read a book called Circle. It's by a guy named Dave Eggers. And it's really interesting, and it's about social media, and it's set, in the future at some point. And there's this organization called The Circle that has replaced things like Facebook, consumed by this one thing. But they're always trying to be on the cutting edge and create all these new things. And so they go through these weird steps to attract and find people. Mm-hmm. And so I could see a company like Google, theoretically, they might say, hey, Joe has this crazy plan to find some really smart people to work on this problem that none of our guys have been able to figure out. So let's pool everybody and then put them together and make this giant puzzle, and then the people who solve it might be able to solve these other problems that we haven't been able to crack.
Yeah.
Is that the case? I don't know, but that's what it makes me think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, when you're somebody like Google, you want to look for people who think outside the box, and definitely to solve the puzzles that we saw here, that you've seen in this case, you have to be able to think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even live in the box.
No, not even close.
Yeah.
Terrorists?
No.
I don't, again, just like with Scientology, I don't get why a terrorist organization would do this.
Well, I think it goes on the hacktivist kind of side of it, right? Less than
not the suicide bomber terrorists.
Yeah, not the boots on the ground terrorists, but the breaking into stuff and stealing stuff and WikiLeaks and stuff like that.
But again, this is not the skill set that these guys would be looking for. They're not looking for people who can. They want people who can come up with good cryptograms and code stuff and keep stuff off the radar. But somebody who can actually solve a puzzle, they don't really care about that.
Well, I guess I think that the thing about this is that I think it's less about the specific skill set and more about the perseverance and intelligence and like know-how. You know, I don't know that necessarily people are looking for people who can crack this sort of stuff. It's people that have the like tenacity to even try. I don't know.
Yeah.
Next, aliens. It's the
Aliens,
last one.
I'm liking this one. I don't see a chupacabra on there anywhere.
Sorry.
I want to believe.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
could be the alien. I mean, it could be aliens trying to get in contact.
Trying to find the smartest among us to,
Yeah.
I'm finding that one a bit of a
No?
stretch. You know?
Yeah,
I'll put it above Scientology, but so it's not at the bottom.
I'm really trying
Yeah.
to come up with a plausible reason that aliens would do this. I'm not joking. I'm
To
really
test our intelligence, obviously. To see if we have come of age in the age of space-time.
Oh, so this is like a Starfleet test.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem with that is that the obviously intelligence and talent varies widely in the in the human
Agreed.
community, and I'm sure in an alien race, I'm sure there's people who get to man the starships and go out to the stars and probe our minds with stuff like this, and then there's people who work as janitors back home on the home planet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so is there some particular reason they want to find the very, very smartest human beings?
Well, the other thing is, let's be honest, if aliens exist, I'm not saying they don't, but if they exist, okay, well, the thing is, you're presuming that aliens are going to be able to understand our way of writing code and interacting with the internet, and their language and technology base, I would imagine, would be so foreign. It would be like me trying to write a computer code that my cat could understand.
Well,
Ruining.
I know. yeah, you ruiner. Here's what I think.
I'm a ruiner. I'm
You
sorry.
are.
But
I think
cheater.
that if there are aliens who have infiltrated us, what they've probably done is they've created AIs who inhabit various places in the internet, and the AIs. I mean, obviously, we're working on that right now. We haven't gotten there yet. The aliens presumably would be better at that kind of stuff. So you can create an AI that lives on the internet and within the human community.
So you're saying it's
And
the
it-
Matrix?
Not the Matrix necessarily, but it is, I am saying, an artificial intelligence created by the aliens that lives here on planet Earth and basically investigates, snoops upon, and provides information to the alien master race back on the home planet or circling in their starship behind the moon or whatever they're doing. And there could be a bunch of AIs for that matter.
I got to tell you right now, I'm pretty sure that there's not an AI on the internet because I'm pretty sure that inadvertently we have come up with the best tool to destroy any AI out there.
What's that, porn?
Porn and cat videos. Things that rule the internet. And could you imagine an alien race trying to create an AI, and it's
the AI
just like
keeps getting-
this porn cat-loving thing?
I know, the AI is just like totally addicted to porn and cat videos. That's so awesome.
It's the most human AI ever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
actually, I see the scenes of a great sci-fi movie script there.
So that's the end of the theories.
But anyway, and I
Please,
still,
we're having too much fun with that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, no, I do like that, but but I still want to throw in my theory, which I touched upon earlier, which is that it could actually have been one guy who had colleagues in various places to help him out.
Yeah, you
who
both
was
think
trying
that, huh?
who was trying to make himself look really smart and really creative, and so he put the puzzles out there and then solved them, and then gave some interviews to some journalists and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
no doubt was contacted by the NSA or somebody like that, and got a high-paying job out of the deal.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. I don't think there's any good explanation. Steve, do you have a...
Well, the one thing that I will say is I discount the idea that it was done by a government organization. And there's some very specific things that make me think that. First of which, who is it that's got cryptos in front of their...
CIA.
The CIA. Okay, so they hire some dude to make this piece of art, and it is a giant puzzle. and they still haven't cracked it.
Which makes
And
me
it's been there for, what? I don't even know.
They've cracked two-thirds of it.
Somebody's cracked parts of it.
Parts of it, but it's been there for years, and they still haven't figured it out. But we're going to say that the government organization of that quote-unquote caliber was able to engineer something that's this complex and elegant at the same time.
But they can't crack cryptos.
But they can't crack something that's at their front door.
It's a lot easier to create a cipher than it is to break a cipher.
Yeah, well, that is true, but I look at the track record of things like that and go, well, if you can't do this one, how does that lead credence to you doing that one? That's what hinders me from getting behind that theory.
Yeah, I guess I'll say one more thing is that I think a kind of like a New World Order society thing is not the worst theory I've ever heard. You know, there's some murmurings of the number 3303 actually relating
3301?
3301. Yeah. Sorry, geez.
I think 3303 is not a prime number.
It's not a prime number. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's divisible by
3.
Who knows?
Or 1101. Yeah.
Yeah. But
it is divisible by 3.
Yeah.
3301 refers to like the 3rd century in which this new world order of like peace and whatever will come to be.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Maybe it's time travelers.
I mean, maybe it is time travelers. There's so many. It could be literally anything because we know literally nothing about any of this. Anyways.
And that is the best. That's what we're great at, is talking about things that we know nothing about.
Yes, it is. This, I think, story has gone way too long already. So if you want to check out the links, please visit our website. The website is thinkingsidewayspodcast.com. While you're there, you can go ahead and just leave us a comment if you'd like. You can listen to our show there. If you're there, we have this survey thing that, like, I didn't know that we had, but apparently we do. So if you want to take that, that would be super, super awesome and helpful. We would love you forever to get a little feedback.
It's really easy to find. It's on the right-hand side.
Okay, it's on the right-hand side, apparently. If you're not listening to us there, you're probably listening to us on iTunes. If you're listening to us on iTunes, leave us a comment and a rating, because we love those. We read them. Sometimes I read them, like, in bed at night. It's like, I'm feeling bad about my work day. I'm like, I need validation. So I read them. It's great. Keep them coming. We have Facebook. We have the page and the group. Like us, follow us, friend us. We have a Twitter account that you can follow us on.
We've got so much stuff.
We are so bad at actually keeping up to date.
Yeah, I try and remember to do that, but
I keep forgetting that we
it's
actually...
on my phone, but I just, like, don't check it.
I know, it's on mine
Sorry,
too.
guys.
I keep forgetting that I even know about Twitter.
Oh,
by the way,
Twitter's even a thing.
And by the way, if you would all inundate People Magazine demanding that they name Thinking Sideways podcast the sexiest podcast of the year.
Yeah,
Please
why not?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So it came from Joe's brain.
Yeah.
Other than that, if you want to talk to us, if you are 3301, if you know somebody who's 3301.
If you're 3300,
that's fine too. Yeah.
Or 3302.
If that's your make and model number, that's fine. We'll hear from you too.
Beep, boop, beep.
Yeah.
That email address is, as always, thinkingsidewayspodcast@gmail.com. And I think with that, unless either of you has anything else to add.
I don't.
Not really.
I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah, no, we will solve this eventually, but it might take another week or two. Tune in.
Yeah, I mean, it's not February yet, so.
Yeah.
No, it's like a month from when this... Oh, no, it's 2 months from when this...
We got about a month and a half.
We
got a
got
little time, yeah.
Well, but by then there will be a new one.
Well, that's the whole idea.
2015 is coming!
That's it, I quit.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Toodaloo.
I don't understand that.
Hey, guys. It's Thinking Sideways podcast. I'm Devin, I guess. As always.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joined by
Jose.
and
Steve, I guess.
or whatever.
Oh, my English name, in case you're confused, is Joe.
Okay.
Okay.
That just let's just clear things up right there.
Yeah.
Today, we're continuing on our series of Halloween mysteries, and I guess I should add the caveat that if you don't already know about this mystery, unsolved mystery, it's pretty gruesome.
Yeah.
So,
It
as
is.
we have said before, if you
Parental
are
warning.
squeamish, or if you have young children, or really like children kind of at all, maybe this is not an episode for you. And also, before we get too far, I guess, this is a listener suggestion from Hunter.
Hey, Hunter.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
man.
We're gonna talk about the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run, also known as the Torso Murders.
Yeah, or the Cleveland torso.
Or the
murders.
Cleveland
Yeah.
Torso. There's a
Torso
lot of
murders, yeah.
different names.
This was really difficult to do research on because it does go
So
by
many
a
different names.
half dozen names.
Yeah.
Which is annoying.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
But it
And,
does help with the copy paste issue that we always complain about.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to Cleveland,
Yeah.
1930s.
Do we have to?
Yeah. It's in the 1930s. It might be fun.
The Roaring 30s.
Well, by all accounts, it's a city on the rise. Despite the effects of the Great Depression, many people are doing pretty okay. And we're going to Kingsbury Run. It's a prehistoric riverbed running from the flat,
Which is the banks of the Cuyahoga River,
yes.
or Cuyahoga River, however it's
to
pronounced.
about East 90th Street. I know that doesn't make sense to most people, but I guess if people in Cleveland, it probably will make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's not so much a river as it is just like a gash.
Yeah, kind of like
Sure.
Sullivan's Gulch in Portland. If
Yeah.
you're familiar with Portland geography.
I think that people are probably not going to get
Not
that
gonna get that
anymore.
reference.
No, not at
yeah.
all. But
So go out and Google it.
It's
really
just a depression in the earth that water flows through, but it's not a river bed.
Yes.
you know, that proved very attractive to poor people back during the Depression.
Well, the train and any kind of rapid transit tracks still run through it, but trains did run through it. And train tracks, especially in the right around the Great Depression time, that's really popular with vagabonds and sort of
hobos.
yeah, well, just people without a home or run down on their luck because you can just hop on a box car and get someplace else. So it's pretty attractive. And as we were just kind of saying, I guess it's the people who are not in that whole many people doing well again group.
Yeah, there were a lot of those back in the 30s.
Yeah, they lived in really, really awful conditions, like filth and trash and
Yeah,
Shanty
kind
towns.
of
Yeah.
shanty towns, exactly, yeah. And most of the people that lived there were transients, and they rode boxcars mostly to escape Cleveland winters because Cleveland is not super fun in the winter.
I'll
Cleveland
bet.
it's Cleveland, Ohio, which is a very cold place in the winter.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be homeless or a transient and be there. I would turn into a snowbird and head south for the winter.
No, me too.
well,
And the area just east of the run was known as the Roaring Third. It was mostly bars, brothels, flop houses, and gambling dens, which...
So a fun place.
life was
kind
kind
of-
of more fun back in those days.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of the, transient area, right? You've got, people who are really, really out on their luck, hobos, lost everything, and then you've got the area where people become really, really out of their luck,
Yeah.
hobo, transient,
That
lost
kind of
everything.
gray area.
Yeah, it's that filter zone that people go through. So September of 1934 is kind of when this whole mystery starts. A young man finds the lower half of a woman's torso, thighs still attached, but amputated at the knee, washed up on the shores of Lake Erie.
That'd spoil your day, wouldn't it?
Lake Erie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A little bit.
And as mentioned, it's just going to get more gruesome from here, so if that freaked you out, just stop now.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it is October.
It is October, so we're
Yeah.
doing the creepy stuff.
I know.
The county coroner, A.J. Pierce, noted that there was some kind of chemical preservative on the skin that had made it turn red, tough, and leathery. And we'll kind of talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
You sure that she wasn't just really into sun tanning?
It's possible, but in the 30s, I think it was more don't tan. They were back on the no tan kick.
Maybe.
There was a search, and they found just a couple other body parts it was identified as a female in her mid-30s. The head to this body was never found. The woman was never identified. She is referred to as the Lady of the Lake, and she is labeled as victim number 0.
So the one thing that disturbs me through, and this runs
There's one?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
one
disturbing about
overarching
this.
thing that disturbs me through all of these, and I know we're going to get into it, but it's the head factor.
The missing
Yeah.
heads.
The missing heads are the creepiest thing in the world. Is it Joe Pesci was in a movie that he had a head in a bowling ball bag or something? And I kept thinking back to that movie
Yeah.
because it's just,
Yeah.
it's that creepy factor. Anybody who knows that movie, they're going to understand.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, the whole idea of just dismembering people and chopping them up is just kind
Just in general.
of, just kind of appalling.
Yeah.
Not something I would care to do, but
Yeah.
apparently it's a different taste, you know.
Yes, or whatever.
Well,
you know, each
hey.
their own or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
you
yeah.
know, it might have been that the murderer had a sense of humor, though. She had great legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that didn't work.
No, it
Please
didn't.
continue on before I make a bigger
So
fool
we're
of
going to do
myself.
that thing that we do sometimes where we basically just list the victims. There's 12. We're going to keep it short as possible, but there are things that differ between each of them, so please bear with us.
Because there's a lot.
And if not, fast forward like 15 minutes and we'll probably still be talking about this.
Yeah.
So just skip the next 15
No,
minutes.
we're going to talk fast here.
Yeah. So John Doe number 1 was the second body to be discovered, but he was likely the first murder victim. He was discovered on September 23rd of 1935, and he was never identified. He, like most of the male victims, was emasculated and decapitated.
Oof.
His head was recovered, however, and his skin also had the chemical agent that had caused it to become red and leathery. The next one is it was the first body found, but probably the second victim. And he was found also September 23rd of 1935. He was found like 9 meters, 30 feet away from John Doe 1. He had also been decapitated and emasculated, and he was identified, which is rare. Next up is Florence Genevieve.
Well, wait. What was the name of the last guy?
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. It was Edward Andrassy. Andrassy?
Andrassy. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
He had a name, or he was
did.
identified, so
Yes.
I wanted to make sure we covered
Yes,
that.
yes. Florence Genevieve Polilio. She was found on January 26th and February 7th
That was a two-parter.
of 1936.